Inspirational web development, a beginner approach. What is CSS? Part 1. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it's called something look like this. Dot how to, brackets, display block, something like this. CSS is used to style HTML elements. Consider this HTML tag, a div tag, which has an ID. This is an attribute box. You can style it in your style sheet or whatever you like. Then we have something like hashtag here, box, open a bracket, close a bracket, width, height, border, whatever you like. So let's see this demo. Let's make this box a red box with the black borders. Opening Inspirational Web Development folder and a new folder, CSS tests. Tests. And inside this folder, we will create a new HTML. This is Udemy course. We click here on Inspirational Web Development, CSS test, and inside it we type css.html. Close it. So here you can save it on whatever you like. It's not CSS. You can change the name to test, for example, so you won't be confused. Okay, I know you're confused now. Shift delete, and here open with, or we can open it from here. This is HTML. We type first one, it's the doc type, then HTML, then we close this line, then we type HTML, control space, and see this. This is CSS test. Great. Now we will first need to make a division, div, and close this div. So we want to style this div. The first thing we need is to make a style tag, something like this. Great. Now we want to style this div. So we type div, the tag name, then we open a bracket and close a bracket, and inside them we type the property name, which is background, or the first thing we need is the width of, for example, 400 pixel, and we have a height of 300 pixel, and background red. Okay, so let's just check what happened with us. Great, we have this red box. We need to style its border, so we will type here a property name called border, and the first one stands for 5 pixel, the width of this border, and the second one is the type of it, which is solid, and the third parameter is the color of it, which is black. So if we update here, wow, we made this box. Great. Where we put our CSS code, we have something called inline CSS code. The code here is an inline because it's inside a style tag. We put the CSS code inside style tag. This is an inline CSS code. Great. We have we can make an external CSS code by moving our code to external file. How? Moving here in the CSS test, we will create control here, create a new file which called style.css. Whatever name you like, you can name it. Okay, and inside this style CSS, we're gonna move all this here, and we type it here. Okay, and now we need to, if we refresh the page, we will not see anything. Wow, there is nothing because we did not put the CSS code inside our HTML. So Linux, we're gonna type Linux, which is a self-closing tag, and inside it we're gonna type rel equals to style sheet, and another attribute which is href equals to style.css. And now let's see the magic. Wow, we got back our red box. So this is external CSS code. Let's make the circle using HTML and CSS external. So if we try to put another div, you will notice something, that the div, and we have another div here. Okay, you can put a break line here, which will be our self-closing tag, break line code. So the first div is a red box, and the second one is a red box. But we want just the first one, and we want the second one, as it shows here, a circle with a yellow border. So we need to refer just to this div. We can use either typing an ID. For example, this is red box ID for it. And here, instead of putting the div, we're gonna put the red box here, with this red box. But to refer to this element, and because it's an ID, we need to put a hashtag before the name. So you should put hashtag, because this is an ID, and then the value of this ID, which is red box. And I'm gonna what? Refresh. Wow, the first one is style. The next one does not appear. It does not have a background. So here I'm gonna type ID, which is circle. So here we're gonna create a style for the circle. So we have the width of, for example, 2 pixel, the height of 200 pixel, background black, border 2 pixel, solid yellow, and update this. Wow, but this is a square, it's not a circle. So how we can make this a circle? We need to add another property, which is border dash radius, and give it the same value of width and height, 200 pixel. So the border radius, the width, and the height are the same. Now we will have a circle. Wow, this is a circle. Great. CSS code construction. As you see here, we have elements you want to style, then the open brackets, the property name, colon, property value, semicolon, and then we close the brackets. So as it appears here, we have red box, the one that we want to style, we have the open brackets, then the property value, colon, property name, sorry, colon, property value, and then semicolon. This is how we make CSS. So here is another property, here is another, here is another. There's lots and lots and lots of CSS properties. How can we style elements with CSS? We can use a class. We already used an ID. We can use a class. So consider having here break line, and we have another div here, which is also a red box. We can put an ID, red box, and it will work as it's here, but this is not a good way to style two elements with the same style. Why? Because an ID, in the upcoming tutorial, we will see JavaScript, an ID used to access just one element. So you can access just one element using JavaScript with an ID. So we use a class instead. And when we use a class, we need to put here, instead of hashtag, a dot, and save our file. So now When we update, we have some problem here. We have class red box. Class red box. We did not save this. Sorry. Now I save it. Now let's great. So now we style two elements with the same style. So this thing called styling element, this is a class way. So you should put dot, then the name of the class. Here class is test. Then we open brackets, color red, whatever you like, the property name, colon, the property value, and then semicolon. ID, we already use ID using a hashtag. And how can we style elements with CSS? If you'd like, you can style all elements, all div. For example, here you can style all divs inside our HTML. Here, for example, we can type all div should have border or should have margin of 40 pixel. What this did, look here at the space between the window here and this red box. You will see it changes. So this is 40 pixel and this is 40 pixel, and from here 40 pixel and from here 40 pixel. This is the same and this one is the same. So now we style all divs inside our HTML file. We will create a nice looking paragraph right now. So let's create it. Nice looking. Closing this and making a new one. Save it. Call it nice paragraph .html. We type first the doc type space HTML. Then we type HTML control space. And again, we type here nice paragraph. And inside it, I'm gonna have to put B, close or B. And here, this is a nice paragraph. And I love inspirational web development course. Sorry. Nice paragraph. Open with Google Chrome. Yeah, this is a nice paragraph. We need to change the color and the font size. So we type here an inline, which is style for B. We open the braces here, and then inside these braces, we're gonna type font size 30 pixel, and the color is red. So, wow, it changes. That's great.